Hi Sloths, and welcome to a special announcement video. This is pretty interesting, pretty fun, and I really want you to hear what I've got to say about this. So, this year, spanning from the 10th of December, no, sorry, not the 10th of December, the 10th of January to the 10th of December, so it's basically a year-long event, I will be doing a big giveaway thing. So I'm going to go through the basic details about that first, and then I'll talk about the 4x4 grid of words right next to me that I can bash my head against. See? Boop, boop, boop. Okay, enough messing about. So what is this event? What is this giveaway that I'm doing? So let me just quickly mention that this to the side of me here is a bingo card. So what my plan is if I manage to get like a line, a diagonal, or a row, or even bingo, someone is going to win a prize. That someone is someone who registers to this event on my Discord. The link to my Discord will be in the description below. It is also on my YouTube channel's bio page, or whatever you want to call it. Is it like a profile? I don't know. Everyone just calls it something different, and I don't think there's a specific name for it, so let's just stick with like bio page or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, so, you know kind of how people can win? Let me tell you what you can win. So, most people when they do giveaways, they tend to go out and they will buy the winner a collector's edition of a console, like a Switch or something, or maybe a game, or maybe they will send merchandise or something like that. Obviously, I don't have merch. I'm too small of a creator to even bother thinking about merch. I've already gone over this in the last video, I think. And basically, I don't really want to go out and get a collector's edition of a Switch, especially because there are so many rumours flying around that, oh, we're getting the Switch 2 soon, or the next gen Nintendo console. And it's kind of the same with other consoles. I just don't really want to go and get like collector's editions of that. Plus, they're really expensive, and I don't think it would be appropriate for me to go and buy something super expensive for someone who might not even want it at all. So, what is my plan? What am I going to do that is going to be interesting enough that people would want to participate, but also not something that I have to go and spend an absolute fortune on? Well, it's actually quite simple. And I think it's probably a lot more personal and unique of an idea than most giveaways would be. So, the people who watch my videos, you probably know that I do a series on this channel called Nevermon, or Nevermon Showcase. And it's basically where I take existing Pokemon and I change them, I redesign them, usually just a palette swap. Sometimes it will involve me actually changing a lot or parts of their design, and then basically doing a pixel art rendition of that, and then I do like dex entries and stuff like that for it as well. Anyway, what I would like to do for anyone who wins this is basically you can get like Polaroids, not like real Polaroids. It's not like I can go and snap a picture on a Polaroid camera, but you can get the Polaroid feeling like paper stuff, and you can have things printed on that paper. So what I want to do is I want to do a pixel art piece, and then I want to get it like printed out on a small Polaroid like photo piece of paper thing, and then I'm going to sign it, and then I will give it to whoever wins. So my initial plan is I don't really think that I'm going to get many of these, so I'm going to make 6 of these. 6 of these Polaroids. Okay, so basically, if I get a line, a diagonal or a row, or bingo, someone will win at least one of these Polaroids. So, what would happen if if no one won? What would happen if I didn't get a single line? Well, in the event that not only do I not get bingo, but I also don't even get like a line or anything, basically what will happen is all 6 of the Polaroids that I have created, someone will be chosen at random to win those 6 Polaroids. So someone will win regardless of if I even get anything on this bingo card. Now, what would happen if I did get like at least 1 line or maybe 2 lines, and then there's obviously I don't get bingo and there's all the rest of the Polaroids still left over? Well, someone will also be chosen to win the rest of those Polaroids. And yeah, they are going to get, say if I only get 2 lines or 2 rows or something. So out of 6, there'll be 4 left. So someone will win those last 4. So, does that sound like a cool idea? I really hope it does, actually, because I thought of this for a while, of doing some sort of giveaway, and I couldn't like rack my head around a good thing to do about it. And I've had a lot of people who really enjoy my pixel art, not only just my pixel art, but my Nevermon series as well. And my fans also kind of really like Pokemon, and so do I, so why not just do that? I think it'll be a really cool and fun idea. Of course, there are more rules and regulations and things, but you can find them on my Discord page, which will, like I think I've already said, will be in the description below. And if you also don't want to do that just yet, and you've maybe forgotten, it is also on my YouTube channel's bio page. Now, with all that out of the way, let me tell you about what is actually on this bingo card. Now, bingo cards are these things that I have seen within the past few years popping up. People do them to be like, oh, this is what I expect or would like to see happen in this and this industry, or with this and this series, or this and this game in the future, or in 2025, or in the next year, or within a certain period of time, or maybe it's something that they do whilst they're playing a game or watching a series. Now, a lot of these, it's mostly just gaming stuff, but there's a few on here that is related to Doctor Who, because I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I don't think I've really mentioned that much on the channel before, but I am a massive fan of Doctor Who. Yes, there is a HoloLive thing on there. I'm sure you can see it. It's like over here. All the way over here. Okay. But that is also a gaming thing as well at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this into 2 sections. First, I'm going to talk about the Doctor Who stuff, and then I'm going to talk about the rest of the gaming stuff. That way, we're not just going to go from like Spooky Jumpscare Mansion all the way to like the TARDIS episode or anything like that. I'm not going to be like TARDIS episode, oh, new 3D Mario, oh, lost Doctor Who episode. Okay, we're not going to be doing that. We're splitting it into 2 parts. Okay, so the first part I want to talk about is the Doctor Who stuff, so let's get into that. The first thing on there that you can see is that is the Doctor Who stuff is the TARDIS episode. Now, within Doctor Who, there is a big spaceship. Well, actually, it's a little spaceship, but it's bigger on the inside. It also travels through time and space, if you don't already know. Anyway, so this thing is called the TARDIS, and within it, it's always a massive mystery, because it's so massively big. The possibilities in the TARDIS are so considerably endless that you can do whatever episode you want in it, basically. So, there are plenty of times where entire episodes have taken place within the TARDIS. I think the last time we actually saw this was in the Matt Smith era, where it was the whole The Impossible Girl storyline with Clara. Basically, what happened, not to spoil it, but what happened was shenanigans. They ended up running through the TARDIS, and they get to see like all these different TARDIS rooms, all these references to the Doctor's past, and it's so cool and so fun, and I love those episodes. I think a lot of people really like them because the possibilities are endless, and we really do get to see really, really rare and old references. Things that you really wouldn't expect to just be there, but they are. Like, I believe in the last TARDIS episode with the Matt Smith, in the Matt Smith era, the Carrionites could be, or like the crystal ball or whatever that the Doctor traps the Carrionites in from the Shakespeare Code, I think it is, with the 10th Doctor and Martha. Yeah. Anyway, we got to see that, and we could see the Carrionites still inside him, I think, as well, if I remember correctly. And I think we also got to see one of the old Magpie televisions, which he trapped the wire in, I believe. And it's just so fun of an idea and a concept, and we've not gotten it in such a long time. Everything on this list, or on this bingo card, is something that I believe is a possibility. I don't know how much of a possibility any of this is, but I believe that there is a possibility for all of these things to exist within this year. Maybe not. Maybe like a good handful of these will never even happen ever, or at least within the next 3 or 4, maybe 5 years. But we can dream, we can hope, right? So yeah, that's the TARDIS episode. Now, moving on, a Lost Doctor Who episode. I really want to see a Lost Doctor Who episode be found this year. We've recently had like a massive treasure trove of Doctor Who old and lost episodes being reconstructed, reanimated, and even found, but not all of them are still actually like found yet. There's still plenty of episodes that are only reconstructions using audio and telesnaps. Telesnaps, for those who don't know, are basically like really old pictures from the actual programming from like the 60s and maybe early 70s. It's basically like, imagine it being like a screenshot, but for a really, really old television back in like 40, 50 years ago kind of thing. So yeah, there's that. Well, it's actually, no, it's like 60 years at this point, isn't it? Oh wow. Oh, I keep forgetting that Doctor Who is like 61 years old at this point. Wow, that's crazy. Anyway, so I just really want that this year, just at least one episode to actually be found. That would be really cool. Anyway, moving on to the next thing. The Doctor Who Experience. So I've been to the Doctor Who Experience twice since it, existed and then stopped existing. Once in London. I hate London, by the way. Oh, London is a nightmare. But the Doctor Who Experience is really fun. And I also went to the one in Wales. I believe... Actually, no. Did I go to the one in Wales twice? No, I think I went to the one in Wales once. Yeah, once. Okay. Unfortunately, the Doctor Who Experience was shut down quite a long time ago. I think it was... I want to say... shortly... like, in between, like, the Peter Capaldi and Jodie Whittaker eras. I think it was in between those. I could be wrong. It could be a little bit earlier, or it could be a little bit later than that. I don't remember. But I went when it was, like, Matt Smith era, like, twice, I believe. Anyway, enough of that. The Doctor Who Experience is gone, and since then there have been a few, like, pop-up or short-term museums dedicated to Doctor Who, but the Doctor Who Experience is more than that. It's not only a museum that you can look at afterwards, but before that, it's actually like a little bit of a show, like a guided tour through like several Doctor Who scenarios. It's really cool for the children as well, because they get to like interact with like the TARDIS console and stuff like that, or, well, anyone can really. It just depends if you are the one who gets like chosen whilst you're doing these like little scenarios. You get to go through like these little scene areas with like Daleks and Weeping Angels, and it's so fun. It is really fun. It's really cool, and it's such a good fun time. And the references as well are absolutely crazy. I don't think any of it's canon. Although I think that a lot of people who watch Doctor Who say that nothing is canon, which makes no sense at all. Anyway, let's just ignore the canonicity of Doctor Who for a second. So I don't know if they have any other plans to not only bring back the Doctor Who experience, or just bring back like a Doctor Who museum. I think the last one was a short-term museum in London only, which I hate the fact that it's London only. Like, BBC, can you just realise that there are other places within England, or just within the United Kingdom, that is not London? Because no one likes London, no one likes going to London, and no one likes spending a fortune on anything in London, because in London it's like £7 for a glass, or for like a pint, whether it's a pint of beer or a pint of bloody water. Stop. Okay. Okay, I'm getting way ahead of myself. I just want there to be a Doctor Who experience, even if it's just a short-term, like, not a short-term, a long-term museum dedicated to Doctor Who, rather than like the actual experience itself. That kind of would count, I guess. But I would love the Doctor Who experience to come back. Okay, moving on from that, the next Doctor Who related topic on this bingo card is Susan returning, and I think this is probably the first and maybe the only one that actually gets anywhere on this list, because there have been so many talks and references lately about Susan returning in Doctor Who. For those who don't know, Susan is the Doctor's granddaughter. Debatably depends which like part of the franchise you listen to, because canonicity is a mess. Anyway, basically the Doctor left Susan in like on like some sort of borderline post-apocalyptic Earth a very long time ago. We're talking like 1965, 1966 maybe, 1964. I don't remember which year it was. I know it was in 1960s. She'd only been in for like, what, 1, maybe 2 seasons at that point, which is absolutely, that's really short for someone who is being, like, I don't know, she's so important to the series and to a lot of people not only growing up who watched Susan's like departure and stuff, but also she's just not been in the series apart from like one special years ago back in Classic Who again. And the Doctor was always like, oh yes, one day I shall come back, yes, one day I shall come back for you, my dear. And of course he never ever came back. And there's been so many references in the latest season of Doctor Who about Susan's return, and Carol Ann Ford, the actress who played Susan and also does Susan's voice and stuff for Big Finish audio dramas, she has also like stated several times, I think, very recently as well, within the past few months, saying basically that she really wants to come back, but she doesn't know if she can or if she will like emotionally be able to, because it's such a big reunion and it's going to be very, very emotional. Like the scenes will be very emotional, and it'll be very emotional for her as well, because it's something that, of course, yeah, she has been in the audio dramas before and stuff, and she's still doing the audio dramas now, I think. But that reunion of being face to face with the Doctor, her grandfather, within the television series this is. I think that's going to be a lot for... I think she's like trying to explain it like it's going to be a lot for not only her but the fans as well. So, I don't know. I really want her to come back just because we can have that bit of closure for that entire massive like 50 plus year storyline of, oh, one day I'll come back, but you know what, I'm never coming back. So yeah, we can hope. Okay, the last Doctor Who related thing is a new Doctor Who game. So I can't remember the last time we actually had a proper Doctor Who game. I think it was Jodie Whittaker's era, so not really that long ago, a couple of years ago maybe. But I think that was like a VR game that people were like, yeah, it's cool and all, but VR's, you know, not for us, or it's expensive, or it's just not something we can really, you know, get into, blah, 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 whatever. So there is that. And I don't remember, like, the last time we actually had a good Doctor Who game. To be honest, I don't think there's many outright good Doctor Who games. And I even commentated alongside Dino on one of the Doctor Who adventure games, one of the levels for that, on his channel recently. And even though that is like a better standard for a lot of the very old Doctor Who games, or even like the Matt Smith 2010 terrible Wii and DS game, the whole, what is it, Battle for Earth or something like that? No, that's Ben 10. No, that's Protect for Earth. Okay, I don't remember. But yeah, I don't think we've had a good Doctor Who game in a very long time, and I would really like to play a good Doctor Who game. Like, an actually good, decent Doctor Who game. I mean, it doesn't have to be good for it to actually count on this bingo card, but I would like a good one, if they're gonna make one, that is. Whew, okay, so we have covered all the Doctor Who stuff. I quickly want to go over the official HoloGame thing that's up there, because it's probably just going to be like, ooh, I don't know what you're talking about. So, we all know by now that I love HoloLive. HoloLive is great. I really do like it. I watch quite a lot of HoloLive content, and I have even done a couple of HoloLive fan games, I believe. Anyway, the only actual official HoloLive game that was either commissioned or made in-house, I don't remember, is HoloLive Era. I haven't played that yet, but I have heard a lot of good stuff about it. It's supposed to be like a horror game, like a horror visual novel game, I think. So I'm excited to play that when I finally get around to it. But other than that, as far as I'm aware, the only other like official HoloLive game is like HoloLive Earth, which is actually not really a game, it's like the metaverse or something. It's like a metaverse world, and I think they usually use that to host like concerts and things, or like events that you can go and see in VR, but I don't really count that as a game. I know you can play it as a game because I've seen like videos about it as some sort of like, I don't know, like RPG series thing with slimes and stuff, but I don't think any of it even has anything to do with HoloLive, to be honest. That's just from what I remember seeing. I might have missed something, I might have not seen anything, I don't know. So, let's quickly move on. Oh wait, no, I haven't even said it. Basically, I just want a new official HoloLive game. That's all. Okay, next. Let's move on to Spooky's Mansion update. So, you probably know that my first Let's Play was Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion HD renovation. Now, they are currently working on something called the Soup Update, which basically has existing models, or that are getting revamped, and anything that is currently a 2D sprite will be turned into a proper 3D model. Now, that is also getting like a physical release copy on, I think, the PS5 and Switch. I don't know if it's coming to Xbox. I haven't really looked at that. I could be wrong about which platforms it's coming to. But yeah, and obviously the Super Update will be on Steam as well. That doesn't have like an actual date tied to it. But one thing that we've been waiting for absolute years now, since its initial release, I believe, is the Mansion Update. So the Mansion Update is basically supposed to be an update where players or fans or whatever can create their own custom mansions within the game. So that would be like, you know, custom chase sequences, custom levels and rooms and things like that. Really cool stuff. It's basically, you know, your own, it's like Mario Maker, but before Mario Maker existed. But also it still hasn't appeared yet. We still haven't got that update. It's been years. And I believe every time we go and, or like anytime anyone goes and asks about the Mansion Update, it's basically just like, oh, yep, still working on it. It's coming soon at some point. Within your lifetime, probably. I don't know if this is supposed to be a joke or if we are actually going to be getting it at some point. I'm really hoping that we're going to get it this year with a physical release, because the physical release is also supposed to be some point this year. But we don't have like an actual official release date for it yet, which is kind of sad. And obviously they're not finished with revamping things and adding new content to the game. So that's that. Let's move on to Good Sloth Game. So when I do Sloth Day, the videos for Sloth Day, I obviously play a game where it's about a sloth at least, or it's important to, you know, I've lost my words. Oh no, where are my words? I can't find them. Okay, so it's basically a game that's centered around sloths, or has you playing as a sloth. But those games, and the games that I've seen on like Game Jolt and Scratch and Itch.io and stuff like that, none of them are really that good. Like, obviously there's some that show great potential, and there's obviously I will continue to do sloth games and things like that for Sloth Day, but I kind of just want to play a really good sloth game. I really do. So I'm hoping that this year I get or can find like a game that is actually good, that is based on sloths. And if we can see that, that'd be great. If you want to go and if anyone watching this wants to now quickly go and make an actual really good sloth game, or game centered around sloths, or even me, because I'm a sloth, please do. And then tell me about it so I can play it, please. Okay, that's all I want for that. A sloth game that is actually good and fun to play. Now, let's talk about the 3D Worms games for a second, because I love the 3D Worms games. No one but me seems to love the 3D Worms games, including Team 17, who hasn't touched a 3D Worms game since like, what, 2010, with the release of Worms Ultimate Mayhem, which is actually just a revamp of Worms 3D and Worms 4 Mayhem, put into one like big package and shoved onto Steam. So yeah, okay, that's a really great game. I love it. I have done one video on it so far. I do intend to make another video on Worms 3D at some point, and we all know I already like Worms because I did. The original MS-DOS version of the first Worms game, way back a few years ago, when I did, what was it, One Off Week 3 that no one really watched? Anyway, so yes, I love the 3D Worms games. I want them to come back. Please, Team 17, Codemasters, whoever is currently working on the Worms games right now, if you're watching this, which I'm pretty sure you're not, please, please, please just make a 3D Worms game. One Oh, if you made a modern 3D Worms game right now, it would be so much fun. It would be so cool. Not only just to like see, but to play. Oh, I want it so much. Okay, let's fly through the next two of these. New 3D Mario. We've not had a long one. We've not had one for a very long time. Not since 2017 with the release of Super Mario Odyssey. I hear a lot of people screaming about, oh, we gotta get Mario Odyssey 2. I don't care if it's a Mario Odyssey 2, as long as we finally get a new 3D Mario game. We've had plenty of 2D Mario games. Please, Miyamoto, take some time. Please, make a new 3D Mario game. And on top of that, please make a new Mario Kart game, because we've not had a proper Mario Kart game since, what, Deluxe? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? And that was a part of the original Mario Kart 8 from the Wii U. So yeah, and I believe that came out in like what, 2017? 2016, 2017? So yeah, not really the greatest track record. Since then, we've had Mario Kart Tour, which I believe is not even being supported by Nintendo anymore because no one really liked it that much. And then we had the AR thing, where you could buy these really overpriced Mario Kart toys, where it was just Mario and Luigi and I'm sitting in the little Mario Karts, and you could then use your own house to make like an actual circuit for them to go around. Not exactly the most thrilling of things, and very overpriced, so I've heard and seen. So yeah, we've not really had much of anything since then. And I believe that we really do strongly need a new Mario Kart, because we've just had the DLC pass things, the DLC courses, and I think a lot of people were complaining about them. And why would you make content for a game that's so many years old at that point and not just, make a brand new game? I mean, I get the fact that you don't want to work on a brand new game from the ground up again, but really you're just going to throw DLC at a game that's been out for like, what, 5-6 years at this point? It's kind of silly, to be honest. But, oh well. Okay, next. Does anyone remember the Pokemon pinball games? Anyone? Has anyone even watching this played any of the two Pokemon pinball games? Either of them. The one for the Game Boy? Was it the original Game Boy? It might have been the original Game Boy or Game Boy Color. Either way, that one was based on like Red, Blue, Yellow. The second one, the sequel, was for the Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Advance SP, depends which console you prefer, whatever. And that came out, and it was based on Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, Leaf Green, I believe. And oh, it was so fun. Both of them are great games that no one cared about. No one. I'm pretty sure no one cared about. All I want is for there to be some sort of revival, some sort of revival of the Pokemon Pinball series, whether it be a port, Nintendo Switch Online. I don't know if it is currently on Nintendo Switch Online. I haven't looked at that. If it is, please let me know in the comments below, and I will have to, have a look, and if it is true, then it will obviously be, I will get that bingo thing. Sorry, my words just disappeared for a second again. This is the problem when you do long videos. Your brain just flies about and you forget what you're trying to say. Anyway, so yeah, there's that. I would also like there to be, if we can, I would like either a remake or a sequel, or, just a new game in the series. That would be great. Or maybe even like a compilation where it's like both of the original games slapped together, and then ported over as like one big Pokemon pinball experience. That would be really cool. Anyway, speaking of Pokemon, the old Pokemon games, we have, as far as I'm aware, the only time we have ever gotten the old Pokemon games on a current gen console was, I believe, I think they only did this in Europe. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, but I think they only did this in Europe, and they released on the 3DS eShop Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. I don't remember if there was also Gold, Silver, and Crystal. I only got Red, Blue, and Yellow, so maybe there wasn't Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Maybe there were at a different point in time, or maybe that was in a different country or a different region or something. Maybe Japan had that, or North America had that, or maybe even just Australia had that for some strange reason. I don't know. And then we in Europe or the United Kingdom or wherever had the Red, Blue, and Yellow ones. I would like to see old Pokemon games come back, at least on the Nintendo Switch Online, because people really want to play those games, and then Nintendo's complaining like, oh, you can't play those games on an emulator because that's illegal, and we hold the copyrights, and oh, naughty. But then they also won't release the games for people to play, on official hardware. Instead, people have to either already have the games from many, many years ago, or try and locate and spend a fortune and a half on very old hardware and cartridges just to play these games. Personally, I believe that they should just throw all the games into one massive collection and allow you to play them on Switch or onto the next generation of consoles, whatever that may be. Or maybe just throw them onto like Nintendo Switch Online so people can play the bloody games. Come on, Nintendo. Do you not want our money? Okay, next, I quickly want to go over Paper Mario 64. So, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door recently got a remake. I feel like I'm the only person in the entire world that was kind of upset. I mean, sure, I love Thousand Year Door and I'm glad it got a remake, but I feel like I'm the only person who actually got annoyed or upset or irritated by the fact that they did that, but they still haven't remade the original Paper Mario 64, which is, in my opinion, just as good, maybe even a tiny little bit better. Call that nostalgia if you want, but why the hell did they not remake the first game, but they remade the second game? How idiotic can you get, Nintendo? Do you not want my money? Do you not want our money at all? Okay, I'm gonna go over quickly the Waluigi game, because it's obvious. I just want a Waluigi game, a game centered around Waluigi, or at least maybe featuring Waluigi as one of the main playable characters. Maybe it could be like Wario or Wario, however you want to pronounce his bloody name, and Waluigi having their own separate game together. That would be really cool. I'm surprised. I think everyone's surprised that Waluigi hasn't gotten his own game yet. But yeah, let's move on to the final thing on this bingo card, and that is Grabbed by the Ghoulies. No, that is not a horror film, that is a horror game. And you never guess who made it, because you probably never heard of this game before. Rare. Yes, Rareware, whatever you want to call them. The folks who did the brilliant games of Banjo-Kazooie. Yes, those guys. The guys who made Banjo-Kazooie, who made Conker's Bad Fur Day. Even the terrible, well, it wasn't terrible. Even the highly censored, which is stupid because of how the concept of the game is for it to not be censored. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself again. So the guys who made like Conker's Bad Fur Day, Donkey Kong Country, Banjo-Kazooie, those guys, they made a game for the Xbox once they were bought out by Microsoft called Grabbed by the Ghoulies. The controls are terrible, but the game is incredibly fun, and I love it, and I used to play it all the time, and I have played through the game multiple times on the Xbox, on the classic Xbox, obviously. And if Stubbs the fucking Zombie can get a Nintendo Switch physical port, Grabbed by the fucking Ghoulies should get a bloody remake. Come on now. Who the hell has heard of Stubbs the Zombie in A Rebel Without a Pulse apart from like me? I was over the fucking moon when that came out for the Switch, and when I did play it on the Switch, man, was that kind of disappointing. I was hoping for it to at least be upscaled. Hell no. As far as I'm aware, it's not upscaled at all. And I feel like they removed, like, the music in some sections. I remember it being a lot more lively than what it actually was on the Switch. I don't think I have the original Xbox game anymore, so I can't go back and see. And I'd rather not see, like, 15-year-old gameplay footage of someone with a video camera recording the screen just to see the original game again when I can play it on the Switch. Okay, so Grab by the Ghoulies, it's incredibly fun. Please, for the love of everything, just remake the game or give it a port. Put it on Nintendo Switch Online. And I feel like this is something that could possibly potentially happen at some point this year, because we've recently gotten Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie on Nintendo Switch Online. That means that not only Rare but Microsoft are willing to give old properties a chance again. I really want to see that game. I really want to play that game again, and I really want to play it on modern hardware. Please. Okay, so just as a quick reminder, if you want to actually register for this event, this giveaway event, please go to my Discord. There will be more information there, and that is where you register. Now, obviously, when you register, it's not going to ask you for like card details or anything. All you really need to do is react with a specific emoji or emoticon that is in the rules, and it'll tell you what that emoji or emoticon, whatever you want to call it, is. And then once that happens, I can then see who is, like signed up to participate. So there's that. Please enter this, because it'll be so much fun. And you never know, you might be the person who wins all 6, depending on how the hell this goes. Again, I don't know if any of these will even happen this year. It's just what I want to see happen. So yeah, that's going to be it. So please like and subscribe, it's always free, and I'll see you later.